Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. As you already knew, Yoimiya banner is available now. So in this video, I will show you a complete build for Yoimiya, and also in the last part of the video, I will give my opinion regarding Yoimiya Future for upcoming parts, so that it may help you decide whether you want to pull or skip the Yoimiya banner. Before we move to the next section, I want to mention I will do a giveaway, so please check the description down below for more details. Now let's move on. For the playstyle, Yoimiya is totally different than Ganyu, because Yoimiya actually rely on the pyro infused auto attack from her skill, so after using the skill, you only need to auto attack the enemies. So every time you use the skill, it will give Yoimiya a 10-second duration of infused pyro damage that can up to 161% of normal attack on level 10, and it will have a cooldown at 18-second mark. So that means you will have downtime for 8 seconds. In this time, it's best you use your burst, or if you can use burst yet, just use your charge attack or just swap to other unit or your pyro unit if you run with the pyro battery to charge your energy. The tricky part is when you should use the burst, because the burst is actually give a boost attack for the party member except Yoimiya. So ideally, after using your burst, you may want to swap to other. You should have a team member that focus on quick swap and can deal a lot of damage in that meantime. Now let's talk about the build. For the stats, you must focus on the crit rate and crit damage. Ideally, you should reach around 50 to 60 crit rate and 150 to 200 crit damage. And because Yoimiya rely on the pyro infused attack, it means you need to focus on pyro damage bonus as well. For the weapon choice, obviously the 5-star weapon Thundering Pulse is the best option, but not logical for everyone, so we skip talking about that. So, for free-to-play weapon, the most ideal weapon is Rush, where it can give you an additional 40% normal attack while reduce 10% charge attack shot. Another good weapon is a Skyward Harp, where it has a crit rate bonus, so you may want to consider this if you have a quite low crit rate on the artifacts. But if you don't have these two weapons, you can happily go for Hamayumi, the new craftable weapon that also promising because it provides the additional attack percent bonus by 55%, which is very high in my opinion. So it can help boost your attack, and actually the damage difference between Hamayumi and Rush is not that different, so you may want to consider this weapon. Artifact wise, there are few options available, but first of all, you may want to use the 4-piece of Shimenawa. For now, this is the best artifact because it will give you a 50% attack bonus when you use your skill, but it will cost you a 15 energy. So most of the time, after you use your skill, your burst is unavailable, so you need to plan your burst usage and rotation wisely. So the ideal combo is use skill first. After the pyro infuse is gone, use the burst, then switch to other unit to finish or deal some of the damage during Auro's Blaze to trigger an explosion. The other artifact that will work well with Yoimiya is a Crimson set, where you can use the 4-piece if you want more elemental reaction damage from Vaporize or Overload. This set actually may be best for Yoimiya in the future. I will cover more of this part in the end of this video, so you better check it out. For the Sand, you will want to have an attack percent as a main bonus rather than energy recharge, because in my opinion, using energy recharge Sand will only lower Yoimiya DPS damage, and if you run on pyro battery like Bennett, you should do fine. For the Goblet, you must have a main stats on pyro damage, because all of the Yoimiya damage is on pyro infused damage. For the Circlet, you can have a crit rate or crit damage depending on how much you have accumulated the crit rate and crit damage ratio. And lastly, for Substat, for all of the artifact pieces, you may look for crit rate, crit damage and attack percent to maximize Yoimiya damage potential. Now for the team composition, because Yoimiya is constantly applying pyro damage, it is best to use the reaction team to trigger the Vaporize or Overload, and it's best you run with at least one pyro battery, and the best is to use Bennett, because Bennett also gives Yoimiya additional attack bonus, which is very useful. For the Vaporize team, only few units can match with Yoimiya, but the most best choice is to use Xingqiu, because Xingqiu burst actually can follow Yoimiya auto attack, so in every split second it will trigger the Vaporize. The other viable option is to use Mona, but actually if you use Mona, you use Yoimiya burst to trigger Vaporize on Mona burst bubble. This is good because Mona can gather enemies using the bubble, and Yoimiya burst damage can deal the AoE damage. For the Overload team, the best option for now is Beidou, because Beidou burst can trigger the electro chain reaction, so every time Yoimiya auto attack, you can hit multiple enemies at the same time, which is very good. For last slot, ideally it's best if you can use a shield unit like Zhongli or Diona, because you want Yoimiya uptime without being interrupted for the 10-second maximum damage. Zhongli is the best because besides providing the shield, Zhongli will lower enemies' resistance, so your damage will much more higher. But if you don't have Zhongli and suffer like me, the last slot you can prefer for the animal unit, so you can use Kajuha or Sucrose to deal a damage overtime during using your combo, or you can even use Sayu if you have built it. Honestly, I haven't built Sayu yet, but I think she has a lot of potential and may be a great support unit that will work well with Vaporize and Overload damage. So now I will show you the run on the Abyss, and please don't leave yet because in the end of the video I will talk about Yoimiya Future. Alright, so now I want to discuss about Yoimiya Future. I think after saw the showcase, most of you probably won't bother to pull for Yoimiya because the damage isn't very impressive. To be honest, I think Yoimiya is a great DPS, even though she's not as strong as Hu Tao or Gan Yu, which can solo everything in short time. This is because Yoimiya kit and talents is made to be team unit, so at best you can provide Yoimiya with the best support that have elemental reaction. But I want you guys to remember, in upcoming patch, we will welcome a very good unit to Genshin Impact, the Raiden Shogun, which maybe most of you have waiting impatiently, Kujou Sara, Kokomi and also Yaimiko. I think Raiden Shogun, Kujou Sara, Kokomi and Yaimiko will probably enter the Genshin Impact as the most decent support unit. I won't talk all of this character, but I will take the Raiden Shogun as an example. I know a lot of people want Raiden Shogun to be a strong DPS, but let's be real, Raiden Shogun kit is revolved around energy recharge and electro damage, so the best potential of Raiden Shogun is actually serve as sub DPS, and this will definitely works well with Yoimiya in my opinion. Okay, now let's see the Raiden talents. The skill, which is called Baleful Omen, it will summon the Eye of Stormy Judgment, and this eye will follow party member, and on every attack it will deal AoE electro damage every 0.9 seconds, and this duration it lasts for 25 seconds. This means after using the Omen, you can switch to Yoimiya and auto attack for 10 seconds, and use the burst to boost the party attack and switch back to Raiden Shogun and use Raiden when Yoimiya is on downtime. And because most of us already knew, the burst of Raiden is actually made her as a decent DPS, but unfortunately, it's only for 7 seconds. So this means after your Raiden burst is finished and you run a rotation of another 2 support, Raiden Baleful Omen should be ready to use, and you can repeat the following cycle. Of course, this is just a theory. We need to wait for Raiden parts to actually try it. But in my opinion, this is worth to try. Yoimiya is worth to be pulled. It may be a beast later, because honestly, the way Yoimiya talents work, it really fit the Raiden talents. This is also applied to Sarah and Yaimiko, and of course Kokomi, which can be a good overload and vaporize unit besides Xingqiu and Beidou. Although Yaimiko talents is unknown yet for now, but I'm pretty sure she will be a good support or sub DPS unit. So be wise, and if you agree with me, then you may want to pull for Yoimiya now. It's worth to try. Leave the comment below if you have other opinion. That's all for this video. If you enjoy, please like and subscribe the channel. Bye.